people love them. And they sort of are this connection that people have with the natural world.
The monarch. It is cherished by most of North America, which is why its continual decline over the past 3 decades has been a major focus at the University of Minnesota.
You can probably use some of the offspring of these guys.
Spearheaded by Dr. Karen Oberhauser, the Monarch Lab at the U of M is internationally acclaimed for its research, ranging from the effects of weather and diseases on the butterfly to the study of changes in its migratory patterns.
Monarchs are migratory species, which means they need this series of different kinds of habitats.
The fact that monarch breeding habitats have nearly disappeared has prompted researchers to take action from Minnesota to Mexico. And that brought us to southern Texas. We are just north of San Antonio, Texas, and this is a key component in the flyway that brings those monarchs back to Minnesota. They are the master migrator.
He's really small, so he's already got his characteristic stripes. See that little itty bitty?
At the Guadalupe River State Park near San Antonio, they are on a treasure hunt of sorts.
He's eating the leaf.
It's early April, and researchers and trained volunteers are looking for monarch caterpillars and eggs.
You didn't find any plants?
And counting milkweed.
So she found that eating sign.
The plant that monarchs rely on for food and overall survival.
Oh, wow.
The work they do here will be tracked and shared with the Monarch Lab at the U of M, which has orchestrated a concerted effort called the Monarch Joint Venture, with numerous scientists spread across the country.
What happens here in Texas in the spring is critical to what happens in the rest of the country.
So this is really...
You see here that we've been looking through a real important...
Monarchs have a complex journey every year, traveling up to 3,000 miles, the longest distance for any insect migration. Monarchs winter in Mexico, in about a dozen mountain areas, roosting in trees. In fact, tens of thousands can cluster in a single tree. Then every spring, those monarchs head north, following the milkweed bloom. In southern Texas, they lay hundreds of little eggs, which turn into caterpillars, go into their chrysalis, and hatch. Then those butterflies, in turn, continue their journey north through the Corn Belt, and after a 3rd or 4th generation from Mexico, hopefully, they end up in our backyard.
And it migrates across a massive area. And so when we start to see its population decline somewhere, we know that there's something going wrong.
Ben Eldridge teaches at the Cibola Nature Center, also near San Antonio.
The common name for this is antelope horn milkweed.
While the preservation of the prairies here in Texas is essential, Eldridge says the real problem lies to the north.
We think of the monarch as being like the canary in the coal mine because it's indicating a problem somewhere in our ecosystem. If you go look at a cornfield now that's planted with GMO crops, that's subsequently sprayed with this herbicide, you will see that it is in fact essentially an ecological desert. There is no habitat for the monarchs. They're not going to find the milkweed that they need in order to reproduce.
The Monarch Lab did a study 15 years ago documenting milkweed growing between rows of corn and soybean plants. Today, that milkweed is gone.
That was an important source of monarchs.
Oberhauser says it's because of changing agricultural practices. So that is one problem. The other problem they're looking at are the new pesticides on the market.
These synthetic pesticides are extremely toxic. I look at it as if the monarchs are heading into a desert filled with landmines.
Another alarming concern is the decline of native prairies across the country. In the U.S., we are losing 5,000 acres of land a day to real estate and energy development. There is less than 1% of native prairie land left, making it one of the most endangered ecosystems in our country.
We had 5 eggs in the other patch, so that is a great day.
While researchers believe the monarch population will never go back to its original numbers, the promising news is that we can all be part of the solution.
Individuals really can make a difference. Instead of having their yards covered with lawn, which is a non-native grass, they can put in butterfly gardens or rain gardens or little prairie scapes. So if enough people are involved and enough people care, I think we'll be able to solve some of these problems.